Welcome back to another episode of RGH3 101. And in today's episode, I'm going to be explaining another DashLaunch plugin, which is called FakeAnim. I will go through the different method. There's also a safe method and an advanced method. I will cover them all. So FakeAnim is a DashLaunch support plugin that allows you to play custom videos during boot. It is cosmetic only and do not change glitch timing, non-security, or still behavior. So it will behave like a normal plugin that DashLaunch will load upon boot. So with the boot flow, FakeAnim loads after DashLaunch initialize. This is why it cannot affect the RGH glitch timing. Any added boot time is dependent on the length of the video. So when you power on your console, the normal boot routine where it does its kernel initialize check, then it goes to DashLaunch. DashLaunch will load whatever plugin or path that's already been set. It will load the fake animation, which is FakeAnim, and then it will go to the Aurora dashboard. Now we're going to explore the safe method. So this is recommended for all users because there's no non-editing and it's total reversal. So you have 0% of brick in your console, and anyone can actually try this without anything happening. So in doing the file placement, when you get the plugin package, it normally comes with 3 files or more. But the 3 most important files is the FakeAnim XEX, that will be your execution file, the FakeAnim INI file, that is your configuration file that you use to configure the delay, and your boot video, which is normally a WMV file. You will get multiple files in there, so you can choose which boot animation that you prefer. So in placing these files, you should always place all plugin files and folder on your internal drive. Placing it on your USB will cause some issues because when your console is initializing, it may initialize your USB late. So whatever file that's been searched for by DashLaunch, it may not find it, and it will cause complication within booting, whether a black screen or to just skip everything altogether. So in setting up FakeAnim, what you'll need to do is you open DashLaunch from your dashboard, and on the path you'll extend that plus symbol, and you'll scroll down and look for the heading that says FakeAnim. And that path, you'll select it and you'll browse through your hard drive to where you have the FakeAnim.xex. You would select that as a path, then you'll save the launch.ini file and reboot your console after that. And this is the same method you'll do when you're setting the Aurora dashboard as a default path, and then you'll use your controller to navigate to the correct menu to save that INI file. So within the INI file, that's where you have all the settings for the FakeAnim. And the delay setting controls the animation start. It also increases it if the video cut off and you see a black screen. So when you start your console, it will behave different because each console have a different time in when it glitch and turn on. So what setting work for my console may not work for your console. And this is where you'll use the INI file to select whatever delay, which is normally between 6 and 15. You can set it. It's just a number that you change in that file. You'll save it, and put it back where you put all the files, and this will determine how the animation actually works. So when you first boot your system to see the fake animation or your new boot screen, seeing the stop boot animation or red screen before you see your actual animation is totally normal. And then this is where when you make the adjustment within that config file, you can configure it so that you can see your animation. So there's another method that is for advanced users. So this method is high risk and intentionally for experienced modders with recovery tools. So there's a risk of breaking your console. Um, so it does mean that it will happen, but there's a high risk. So if you're gonna try this method, I recommend that you have some form of flash recovery tool, whether it's Pico Flasher or whatever method that was previously used to mod your console. And this advanced method itself requires you removing the boot anim from your NAND flash. And this method will only work if your version of the console have a built-in NAND flash, because not all console have this. So if your console have a built-in memory, to do this advanced procedure, you'd have to delete the boot anim from the flash itself, and this will force the anim plugin to only boot the video that you added to the console. So although this procedure may give you a nice clean look and a fully nice customizable, why is it dangerous? Because if something goes wrong, for one, if you say you upgrade your hard drive or your hard drive get corrupted and you remove it because you want to replace a new one, when you boot your system, um, your console won't find the default boot anim for your console to boot. And now, the safe method, everything is on your hard drive, so when there's no DashLaunch or anything to do the boot sequence, then the console will normally revert to its default boot anim, and it will boot that, and it'll boot into your default console dashboard. So if you remove that boot file that is needed, what will happen is that when you remove your hard drive from your console and your console is booting normally, it will be looking for that boot file. And once it can't find it, one of two things will happen. You'll either see a black screen, and it will skip straight to your original dashboard, or your console may end up in a boot loop, or you'll just boot to a black screen. So in that case, what you will have to do, you'd have to find a way to reflash whatever backup none you did before attempting this. Uh, and that requires you open up the console and connect whatever pin, whether you use Pico Flash or whatever other method, to reflash your backup none that you did before doing this process. Yes. And as I mentioned, this scenario will happen on those procedures that I mentioned earlier. So it's either you have a corrupted drive and you do any type of replacement, things will break, then you'll need to do a recovery process. In upgrading your drive, there are different ways to actually prevent this by transferring whatever is on the root of that drive onto the new drive that you're going to be replacing it with. Then this way you can avoid booting to a black screen or end up in a boot loop. And there are ways of getting that done by using either File Explorer to format your new drive before putting it into your console, and then you can transfer whatever file from your old hard drive to the root of the new one, and then once you replace it within your console, then you won't have to experience any type of issues. So now in comparing the different method between the safe and the advanced, we can say the safe method requires no NAND editing and have zero risk of breaking, where the advanced method requires you to remove that one file. So it requires NAND editing and it have high risk. And you can see the different features between the safe method and the advanced method. So what method you choose is what you're comfortable with and what tools you have available to you in case something goes wrong. And as you know, I always encourage best practices. So for most users, the safe method provides the best balance between customization and system stability. So as most people may say, to each their own. So you do the method that you're comfortable with and with what tools you have available to you just in case something happens. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And stay tuned for more RGH3 tips coming in the future.